What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my Western park build called Westworld. If you have watched the last couple of episodes, you know that I've kind of been expanding from the front of the park, which is sort of a grassy, tree, logging area, and I've expanded now. There's going to be sort of a desert sand area. And all of this is Western themed, so I'm trying to kind of keep that similar theme going. And I actually haven't opened the park yet. I probably will soon. In the next part, I'll probably be opening the park. Because now I actually have a couple of rides, and I have a few stalls open now, so we can kind of get into actually making the park open and have it be a theme park, finally. In this episode, I really was trying to kind of separate this area from the rest of it, and it's really just kind of trying to make this very clearly the desert portion of the park. And I tried to have all these rides be like similarly colored and similarly themed and all that, just because this will be like its own specific section. And fun thing that I found out here was that I have these if you've watched the last couple of episodes, you've heard me go on and on about how I'm excited to finally have custom scenery objects. And one of the custom scenery objects I have is custom pathways, which I've never really had before. I have full tile pathways, which is actually super helpful in making like queue lines and stuff like that look realistic, because I feel like this looks a lot more realistic than the queue lines they have in the game, where it's like that weird blue and white tiled path. I mean, it's like iconic, I guess, for the game, but it just doesn't look like that in real life. So I thought this would look more realistic, and I think it's gonna look a lot better. So one thing that so you can see here, I was trying to use a trick where you can have the door be open on that that animated door. You can freeze it open somehow. I can't remember how you do it though. So it was just something that I had to scrap that idea and move on to something else. I know there's a way you can choose which animation frame it's on and move it to open somehow. I don't remember how, but there's a way to do it. But I went ahead and just used a custom door and use custom doors and custom windows, and I think that looks pretty good. I kind of use even though I used a stone sand sort of theme, I use the same kind of scenery objects. I use the poles, I use the wooden post fences to kind of make some detailing for these buildings, and then once again I always forget to freeze the weather. I know that's a cheat in OpenRC. You can freeze the weather so that it doesn't rain while you're building, but I'll be honest, a lot of times I just waited for it to end because I was too lazy to bother freezing it. But regardless, I went ahead and just made this, and then pretty much this whole episode is going to be this little area with the Cups ride and the Top Spin and the vintage cars. And I didn't really have names that I thought would be appropriate for them. Like, I just made names like, I think one is called Cups That Rotate, and like I think Topspin is just called Topspin. I just deleted the one. And then the car ride is called literally the first car ride. So if you guys have any clever names for any of this stuff, feel free to leave it in the comments. Feel free to always do that. If you have clever names for stuff, if you think that you have a fun name for something that I am building, feel free to leave it in the comments, because I always like to hear what you guys think. And I know these videos typically get like 30 views, so hopefully one of you 30 people will be willing to just let me know what y'all think. So only if you like it, though. That's a strong, I want to emphasize that pretty strongly, that only tell me what you think about the park if you like it. If you hate it, don't comment. So now that we're on the same page, we can get on to the next part. I wanted to make a saloon, and I'll be honest, I was trying to think in terms of like what would a Wild West saloon have. I'm like, okay, they'd have like a sarsaparilla. I feel like that would be appropriate for a saloon in the Old West. But there's no saloons, there's no sarsaparilla stall to speak of. So I did burgers and iced tea. Iced tea doesn't really seem like, it just doesn't seem like something that you'd get in the West, but I feel like at this point it's not really all that important. But this saloon area is just designed to have food and drink. That's really all it's for. So I went ahead and just decorated this little building for it. the one thing that I'm running into is that if anyone knows how to make signs that are 1 tile wide instead of 2, I would love that, because I keep accidentally building buildings that are either an odd number of tiles wide, so I can't actually build. So like a 2 tile sign would look kind of weird, I feel like. And so I have that issue a lot of times where I don't want to use that long vertical sign, but I really need a 1 tile wide sign or a 3 tile wide sign. If anyone knows where I could get that from, or just if there's a way to kind of make it, if anyone knows how to do that, let me know. I know some people get real creative with this. I am not one of those people. But, yeah, the last thing was I tried to decorate this car ride the same way I decorated the same way I decorated the roller coaster. Just kind of, I wanted to have it be sort of in like a quarry type of area. And I'm going to probably surround this area with that. And this will probably be like the last thing that'll go in this area of the park. Like this sandy area will be this will be sort of it. And then the next area is going to be like a red rock canyon sort of theme. I'm going to work on building red rock stone faces. And I'm going to try and make that in the rest of the park, just because I think that would look kind of cool in this park, if I'm honest. And I've been saving up different roller coaster types to put in that area as well. So hopefully that'll work in that. And the last thing I'm going to build in the next episode that I have planned is I have that the railroad, which is going to go all the way throughout the park. It's going to have I'm going to have another train station on the other side of this ride. So that's going to be pretty much it. So hopefully you guys will be looking forward to that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm pretty much done. And I hope you guys like it. If you did, make sure to subscribe. And otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Thanks.